What's going on, guys? It's Colin, and this will be, I guess, my fourth video covering Bad Company 2's VIP Map Pack 7, and this time we're playing Rush on Oasis. And this is actually one of the maps that was brought over from Bad Company 1, and it was a perennial fan favorite, and it really is a great map. It has a wide variety of scenarios in which the combat takes place, especially in Rush mode. There is, there's some wide open spaces, and also some great close quarters battles as well. And right now, what I've done is I've favored the right-hand side to get to the first set of objectives. And on most of the bases in this map, you have extremely wide flanking opportunities. But what I found is if you flank too far to the right and then you have to cross over the river anywhere near the base, you're very vulnerable. And I get picked off quite a bit when I try to do that. So what I'd like to try and do is make sure I'm on this side of the river and basically sneak up the right. And what you'll find is, basically it's almost like a math problem. There's a lot of vehicles on the first few bases of these maps, and the attackers and defenders both have tanks, and on the first base the attacker has an Apache. On the second base, actually, both teams have choppers. So there's a lot of focus placed on the air, or focused in the air, and sometimes, if you're just running a small vehicle or you're huffing it on foot, you can kind of go unnoticed, and that's what I found to be, my preferred tactic on the first few bases, although it is important for your team to make effective use of the vehicles. And in this scenario, we actually have two squad mates that are up in the Apache. And they are, yes, they're wrecking the defenders pretty good, but what they're also doing is making a lot of call-outs for us, and they are our eyes in the sky. They're running recon out of the chopper, and I'm also on the ground with one other squad mate who is running the recon kit. So anytime there needs to be a motion ball somewhere, he's pretty good about making sure it's there. So when I armed that crate, what actually happened was the guys cleaned up some of the defenders from the air, and I knew there was no one coming because of the good motion ball placement. So on the second base, I actually push a tank up, and what I'm going to do is support one of the teammates taking Bravo. So I move around till I get eyes on the objective. I kind of forwarded this a little bit. I was going to hop out and steal the chopper, but a random teammate actually had hopped on my gun, and he blew it up before I got the chance. And, no fault of his. You want to make sure that chopper's dealt with, and we weren't in communication, so he had no idea I was actually going to attempt to steal it. So right here you can see that Stone gets the objective armed, and I have eyes on it from the tank. I get one kill, and then we're going to move on, and I'm actually going to take this tank and swing it out around to the left. And for this base and, some of the final bases that are out in the open, it's really important that you have vehicles, heavy vehicles, there with you in order to help, establish the map control that you need in order to take the objectives. Because if you just try and go in on foot without any vehicle support, you're going to have a long day. You can get in there and get things armed, but as soon as they realize that you're there, you're going to get blown away. So that's why I pushed around that tank. The tank that I brought in is now down, but my other two squad mates have actually pushed up as well in another tank, and they have eyes on the objective. So once they give me the all clear, I'm actually going to go in and arm the crate, and we're going to take this thing down. Right there, I think they stole my my 40 mil shotgun kill from the air, and I'm just kind of clearing the area out. And the defenders right now don't know I'm there, and right now I shouldn't have shot at this guy. And I mentioned that in a previous video that I really should only shoot at defenders that are a threat to me. But I figured he was close enough that as soon as I armed that crate, he would have hung a 180 and come after me. So. And there's another mistake I made. I did not reload my weapon while I was arming the crate, which is something you can do. And then when I tried to get out of there, I had no bullets to fight with, so I was not long before I was sprayed down. Now, fortunately, the squad mate who had actually pushed the tank up, he's able to hold it, and we take the objective. And except for moving between objectives on that last base, I pretty much favor the right-hand side through most of this match. I'm just going to hop off the quad bike and clean up this recon guy so that he doesn't shoot me in the back as I drive away. And, you can see that the squad's also heading up on a boat on the right-hand side. So, we are attacking heavy to the right, but I've found that there's more natural cover that way, more buildings you can kind of weave in and out of. Right there, I hop off the quad and clean that guy with it. Unfortunately, it doesn't count as a roadkill because I had hopped off, but the quad momentum continues on and runs him over. So I was laughing at that one. And I basically just swing around and grab the objective. And I think I had sort of likened this to a math equation before. If you have a couple of teammates who are up in the air, and the enemies actually have a chopper as well, then, you know, there's going to be a couple of enemies in the chopper. There's going to be at least probably a couple more that are preoccupied with your chopper. There's going to be a few in tanks. So, you know, the lone infantryman who is going in and trying to take the objectives, he has an advantage just in the fact that no one's paying attention to him. Because, you know, they are identifying the larger vehicles as the threats, and they're trying to take those down first. So there you can see I actually get that objective, and I think that there's probably someone guarding this right-hand side. There usually were one or two defenders that we would run into, and you know, there was one guy that was actually posted up quite strong most of the time. There I spot him, and I see in the kill feed that he's been picked off. So I'm now good to kind of proceed and move along my way. And I'm actually able to go in and arm this one without really setting off any alarm bells, and I forget if we take this one down in the first try or if we have to actually take a couple of cracks at it. But I just want to kind of get back. I figure that if the defenders are coming in, I do have some teammates behind me covering my back, and I'm kind of thinking that you know, they're going to come from my right-hand side right now. So, you know, I just want to kind of keep an eye on that area. And sure enough, eventually a couple of these guys swing around this concrete shelter, and I get one and failed to take this guy down with my secondary. But, you know, again, you have to hold it for a certain period of time, and then, you know, once it reaches the point of no return, you know, you can basically lay yourself down for the crate. And right here is the defender who he was covering the right-hand flank quite effectively. He got me a few times in this match. I don't know if I've left all of them in the game, but you know, hats off to him. He was one that was actually anticipating what we were doing and attempting to stop it. But you know, typically we would be running at least in pairs. So, you know, we were normally able to eliminate him and carry on our way. Right now we actually get Alpha destroyed, and I'm not actually able to get close to this objective. You'll see why here in a minute. You know, what I'm doing is weaving in and out of cover between the buildings, not staying in the streets for too long, and trying not to go out in any long sight lines to get picked off. But right here, I get pinned down in this building because I see this heavy MG or anti-aircraft gun or whatever it is up on top of this building. And what I'm trying to do is basically wait for him to give me an angle. So as he turns side to side, you can actually, he exposes himself to be picked off with you know, light weapon fire. I can hit him with my assault rifle, but from here he's protected. So, you know, I'm just kind of waiting, and eventually he hops off. He realizes he's getting hit, but I got him spotted. So one of my teammates is actually able to move around to the right and take him down. So now, you know, we're just carrying on up the right-hand side, and you know, there's a lot of vegetation here. You do have fences that tend to run down to the water as well. So, you know, it's fairly easy to sneak around here. Now we're on to, I believe, we're on the last base now, and what I want to do is just check to make sure that nobody's sitting on this stationary AT. And I set up a spawn point here behind Bravo. One of my squad mates did get it armed. Unfortunately, from here, I am not on the ball enough to get it to pick off the defender who's disarming. So they do manage to stop us this time, and I think the boys get cleaned up. So I kind of lay low a little bit until the squad can spawn back on me and pick off a few defenders in the process. So I'm kind of hoping that they're pushed over to the right and that we're able to take down Bravo once I clean up a few kills here. And you know, once we have at least one more squad mate spawning on me, I think we've got a few of them cleaned up. I'm going to actually go make a move. And you'll see, I actually do have come into this building as a spawn point a couple of times. And then when I go for the objective, I typically run this route. I don't like crossing the street, and I wish I had smoke, but I don't. And so right here, you'll see that there's a defender who's close to the objective, and I spray him down, and then I'm able to actually get around behind and arm Bravo. And what I try and do is sneak out the back here, go out the way I came in, and for some reason I was getting stuck. So I don't know if that was just me failing. I was trying to crouch, it wasn't working. So, you know, rather than sit there and screw around, I decided to basically hide out in this corner. And you know, there is a lot of cover from sandbags. You can destroy the sandbags with tank shells and whatnot in this game, though, unlike Call of Duty. So, you know, this isn't impenetrable cover by any stretch of the imagination. But, you know, the squad spawns on me and they hop out. So, you know, I know that a couple of them have been picked off, but basically I'm able to just basically stay right here because somebody else is out in the building that I was holding as a spawn point. So that's a really good angle to pick them off as, you know, before they get into the objective. And then if any of them are getting hit, they're going to be sprinting. So I'm going to catch them off guard. And right here I push up too far into the enemy base. and I hadn't been back that far before, so I didn't realize how bad I was exposing myself to the defenders who were up on that hill. And the team has actually gotten the other objective armed, so I spawn in on a squad mate, and I'm basically just going to continue to sit here and support them so that they don't get the disarm and we can take down the win. So anyway, guys, I know that on Harvest Day I gave a couple of different looks at each base. I've pretty much run very similar tactics base by base here on Oasis, and found those to be successful. So I usually don't fix it unless it's broken. But if things change and I find that over time with this game, defenders will change their tactics based on popular routes, and so you have to mix it up, which keeps it interesting. And if at some point we need to do an update to this, I will definitely do that. And I'll have one more video coming, which will be a defensive gameplay on Cold War. So that'll cover off Map Pack 7. Hope you guys enjoyed. If so, check out my channel. Cheers. We'll talk soon.
Hey guys, we're on Facebook. Check the description of this video for the link to our new Facebook application. Subscribe and get our latest video updates posted right on the wall on your own Facebook page.